It's crazy, right? You read about daily life in other countries, and sometimes it's just mind-blowing.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I was reading this article about a CNN reporter.
Uh-huh.
He's been covering war zones and all sorts of intense stuff for like 15 years.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And the thing that totally blew his mind, the thing he couldn't get over, was food delivery in Seoul.
Really? Wow, that's interesting.
I know, right? Apparently, people from France have similar reactions. It's like a whole other level of convenience and speed.
It really makes you realize how much we take for granted.
Seriously.
It's those little things, the everyday stuff that can reveal so much about a culture. Like how people get a meal or how they find a new home for something they don't need anymore.
Yeah.
It's a window into their values and priorities. And the stuff you've gathered for today, it really highlights two areas where Korea is just doing things differently. And I know you were super interested in both of these.
Oh, definitely.
The whole secondhand marketplace thing, particularly the Carrot Market app, and then the food delivery system, which, from what I've heard, is just on another level.
Totally. We've got stories from people who actually lived in Korea and use these things every day.
Yeah.
Plus news reports, cultural analysis, the whole 9 yards.
Perfect.
So think of this deep dive as a crash course, basically, on these two unique parts of modern Korean life.
Love it.
We're going to pull out the most interesting, the most surprising bits from all this material.
Sounds good.
So you can walk away feeling like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand this little corner of Korea a bit better now,
Excellent.
without getting totally bogged down in information overload.
Right. So where do we start?
Well, how about with something that sounds kind of familiar, but with a distinctly Korean twist? Buying and selling used goods, but like hyper-local.
Ah, yes. This brings us to the wonderful world of Carrot Market.
Carrot Market?
Or as they say in Korean, Daengjin Market. You might see both of those terms floating around, actually.
Okay.
And sometimes even Tongan gets thrown into the mix.
Ah.
Now, the name itself is clever, I think. Daengjin literally means carrot in Korean.
Carrot?
But it also has this slang meaning, like, certainly or for sure.
Huh. Interesting.
So there's this subtle message baked into the name that it's a trustworthy place. A place where you can, well, for sure find good deals on secondhand items.
That's like a built-in promise.
Exactly.
Okay, so for those of us who haven't experienced this firsthand, what exactly is Carrot Market?
So from what I've gathered, it's this hugely popular app.
Okay.
And people in Korea use it to buy and sell used stuff locally. Imagine it as a digital neighborhood yard sale, but on your phone.
Like way more targeted than just going on eBay or something.
Yeah, much more local. People post photos, write descriptions of what they're selling,
Okay.
and other users in the area can browse and buy those things, usually at a nice discount.
Makes sense.
Seems like it's become the go-to solution for all sorts of needs.
Like what?
Well, everything from, getting rid of furniture when you move,
Oh,
to finding deals on electronics, clothes, even things like golf equipment. One of the YouTubers I watched, he was raving about how he got a microphone on there for practically nothing.
no way.
Oh, yeah, he was thrilled.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a great way to declutter and maybe make a little money on the side.
For sure. And find those hidden gems you didn't even know you needed.
Definitely.
The app's design, its functionality, is a big reason for its success, I think. It's very location-based.
Right.
It uses your phone's GPS to figure out roughly where you are, your neighborhood, and then it mainly shows you stuff from other users who are nearby.
So it's really hyper-local.
Exactly. This local aspect seems to create a stronger sense of community and trust, maybe more so than those big, impersonal online marketplaces.
I can see that.
You're more likely to trust someone who's just down the street.
Right.
You can browse through the listings, and if something catches your eye, you can heart it, sort of like bookmarking it or adding it to a wish list. And then you get a notification if the seller lowers the price. So you can keep track of potential bargains in your own neighborhood.
I like that.
It's a very clever system.
It is. And the things people list, it's not just the usual stuff, right?
Oh, no, not at all.
Clothes and old electronics.
You'll find those, of course.
Right.
But it's the unexpected stuff that makes it fun,
Yeah.
The YouTubers I watched, they were sharing stories about finding all sorts of crazy things. One guy even found someone selling 4 boxes of ramen.
4 boxes?
People were like, who needs that much ramen?
Apparently someone does.
Right. It just shows you that people use it for everything, big or small. And I think there's a certain expectation of negotiation, too, unless the seller says otherwise.
Oh, like haggling over the price.
Exactly. It's part of the culture, I guess. Some sellers might say no negotiations, but generally it seems like haggling is pretty common.
Interesting.
And the way they handle payments, it's evolved over time, which I find fascinating.
How so?
Well, in the beginning, it seems like most people just did direct bank transfers, often using Kakao Pay.
Kakao Pay.
It's huge in Korea, not just for bank transfers, but for, like, everything.
Like it's connected to that Kakao Talk messaging app, right?
Exactly. Super popular. Everyone uses it. So it makes sense that they'd use it for Carrot Market, too. But now they have their own in-app payment system called Carrot Pay.
Carrot Pay.
Which is a smart move. It adds that extra layer of security and convenience, you know?
Right.
You can put money into your Carrot Pay account, and then you don't have to share your bank details or even your phone number with the seller.
Oh, that's good for privacy.
Definitely. A lot safer.
Speaking of safety, I was reading about this 30-minute call feature.
Oh, yes. Tell me about that.
It's for buyers and sellers who've agreed on a deal, you know, a time and place to meet up. The app lets them call each other for 30 minutes before the actual meeting.
Okay.
But without sharing their phone number.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's brilliant, right? You can verify that the other person is legit, get a feel for the situation without giving up your personal info.
It's a good balance between keeping things convenient but also being safe and protecting your privacy.
Definitely a step up from just handing over all your contact info right away.
Yeah, no kidding. That can get a little risky.
For sure. Now, here's something I found interesting.
What's that?
Sometimes you find brand new or barely used items on Carrot Market.
Oh, really? Like in the free section or something?
Yeah, or just super cheap. And apparently, there's a reason for this.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It seems like when people buy new homes in Korea, especially newlyweds setting up their first place, they often get all these brand new appliances thrown in as part of the deal.
Oh, like a bonus?
Exactly. Stuff like water filters, wine coolers, even those fancy Stand By Me rolling TVs.
Wow, that's generous.
Right. But the thing is, they might not need or want all that stuff, so they end up on Carrot Market.
Makes sense.
Instant decluttering that can actually earn them some money.
Clever.
And sometimes these items are listed as open box.
Open box.
Yeah. Because, get this, sometimes delivery people have to open the packaging when they deliver it, just to verify that everything's there.
Interesting.
So even if the item hasn't been used, technically it's not brand new anymore.
Right, because the box has been opened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it creates this opportunity for buyers to get practically new stuff at a huge discount.
It's a win-win, really.
Totally.
The seller gets rid of something they don't want, and the buyer gets a great deal. And what's really interesting is that it's not just used goods and these almost new appliances you find on Carrot Market.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, it's expanding beyond that. You start seeing other types of listings, like local businesses advertising.
Brilliantly.
Oh, yeah, things like gym memberships, promotions at golf stores, that kind of stuff.
So it's becoming more of a local marketplace, not just for secondhand goods.
Exactly. And you can even find real estate rentals and gift certificates on there now.
Gift certificates.
Yep. One of the YouTubers found gift certificates being sold at a slight discount.
Wow.
They were also saying, though, especially for foreigners, make sure you translate everything carefully.
Yeah, that's smart.
Especially things like membership terms and conditions.
Right. You don't want any surprises.
Definitely not. And let's not forget the practical stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you're buying or selling something big like a couch or a dining table, transporting it can be a pain, especially if you don't have a car.
Right.
But guess what? They're even seeing solutions for that pop up on Carrot Market.
Like what?
Advertisements for local rental car services are starting to appear within the app itself.
That's brilliant.
Right. It's like a whole self-contained ecosystem is evolving around this platform.
It's amazing how it's adapted to meet all these different needs.
It really is.
So it's safe to say that Carrot Market is a lot more than just a place to get rid of your old stuff in Korea.
Absolutely. It's become this primary resource for people looking to buy secondhand, especially when it comes to more expensive items.
And it sounds like it can be fun, too.
Oh, for sure. You can stumble upon things you didn't even know you needed. It's all about saving money, finding unique items, and being part of this local exchange.
I love it.
It's a fascinating glimpse into how Koreans are embracing this kind of community-driven commerce.
Totally. Okay, so we've explored the world of secondhand treasures. Now let's talk about something that really seemed to capture the imagination of that CNN reporter.
Food delivery.
Food delivery. It's like a whole other universe in Korea, right? Not just a convenience, but a way of life.
Absolutely. And it's not some new fad either. You might be surprised to learn that Korea's food delivery culture has roots going way back, like to the Joseon dynasty.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Back then, they had deliveries of naengmyeon, which is this cold buckwheat noodle dish.
Huh, interesting.
But it's really in recent years that it's exploded, and that's thanks to a combination of things.
Like what?
Well, the super fast-paced lifestyle in modern Korea, for one. People are busy, they want things quickly and easily. And then there's the widespread use of smartphones and mobile technology.
Right. That makes everything so much more accessible.
Exactly. It's the perfect storm for a food delivery boom.
Makes sense.
And when we talk about food delivery apps in Korea, two names always come up.
Hit me with them.
Baedal Minjok, which everyone just calls Baymin,
Amen. Okay.
and Yogi-Oh. Those are the big players.
Got it. Are there any others?
Well, Coupang Eats is also starting to gain some traction.
Coupang Eats.
It seems like it might be a good option for foreigners, actually.
Oh, why is that?
It's supposed to have better English support within the app.
Oh, that's helpful.
Right, but it might come with slightly higher prices.
That's good to know. So what's it like actually using these apps?
Well, the first thing that strikes you is the sheer convenience. Like, you can order almost anything you can imagine.
Anything.
Pretty much. Korean food, obviously.
Well,
but also Korean Chinese food, Western stuff like pizza and pasta, desserts, even meals from fancy restaurants.
no way. You can get, like, fine dining delivered.
Apparently. It's pretty wild.
That's amazing. So how does it work? Do you just scroll through a list of restaurants?
The apps are really well designed, very user-friendly. You can filter by cuisine type, see special deals, all that good stuff.
Oh, that's handy.
Yep. And you can save multiple delivery addresses, so you can easily order to your home, your work, a friend's place, whatever.
Wow.
It's super flexible.
That's cool. But what if you're a foreigner and not familiar with Korean food? Do they have recommendations or anything?
Yeah, they do have recommendation features, but some of the YouTubers were saying that foreigners might want to be a bit careful with those.
Oh, really? Why?
Well, Korean tastes can be quite different, apparently.
Different how?
Well, a lot of Korean dishes are quite spicy, and there's a tendency towards sweetness in some dishes, too.
Ah, so it might not be what everyone's used to.
Right. Just something to keep in mind. Maybe do a bit of research on your own first, just to be sure.
Good tip. So once you place an order, what happens? How does the delivery actually work?
It seems like a lot of restaurants use third-party delivery companies,
Okay.
and these companies have riders who zip around on scooters.
Scooters?
Yep, scooters. Some of them even have the company logos on them.
Huh. I wonder what that looks like.
One of the YouTubers described one logo as looking like a spider, which I thought was pretty funny.
A spider scooter. That's a visual.
Right. And sometimes the rider will actually pay for the food at the restaurant.
Wait, really?
Yeah, especially if the customer is paying in cash upon delivery.
Interesting.
It just shows how streamlined the whole system is.
Yeah, it's all about speed and efficiency.
Exactly. And then there's this whole review event thing, which is kind of unique.
Review event.
Yeah. So if you leave a photo review and rating for your order on the app,
Okay.
you often get free stuff, like extra side dishes or something.
Oh, that's a good incentive.
It's clever, right? The restaurants get valuable feedback and customers get a little bonus.
It's a win-win.
Totally. One thing that has changed recently, though, is the whole delivery fee situation.
Oh, right. I was reading about that.
In the early days of food delivery apps, free delivery was pretty much the norm.
Makes sense.
But, as you can imagine, with rising costs and all that, more and more places are charging for delivery now.
Yeah, it seems unavoidable.
Right. It's definitely been a topic of conversation and sometimes frustration among customers.
I bet.
But one thing that hasn't changed is the no tipping culture.
Ah, right. It's different in Korea.
Very different. Tipping just isn't expected or customary in Korea, especially not for food delivery.
That's good to remember.
Yes, especially if you're visiting from a place where tipping is the norm.
Definitely. So even with these new delivery fees, is the service still as fast and efficient as everyone says?
Oh, absolutely. They're serious about their speed in Korea. It's all about bali bali.
Bali bali. What's that?
It means hurry, hurry.
Ah, okay.
It's this whole cultural thing, this emphasis on doing things quickly and efficiently.
And it really shows in their delivery system.
Totally. You can often get your food in like 30 to 45 minutes, even late at night.
Seriously? That's impressive.
Yeah, it's all thanks to these super organized networks of restaurants and delivery riders,
Huh.
especially in the cities where everything's close together.
It's like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly.
And what about contactless delivery? Is that common in Korea too?
Oh, yeah, it's huge, especially since COVID.
Right. That makes sense.
You see that phrase, leave it at the door, everywhere. Or in Korean, manep no ashit.
Money noja.
Got it. And what's really cool is that you can track your order in real time on the app.
Really? Like with GPS?
Yep. You can literally watch the little rider icon moving on the map as they head towards you.
Wow. That's next level.
It's a level of transparency you don't often see with delivery services.
No kidding.
Hmm.
You're usually just left wondering where your food is and when it's going to show up.
Exactly. But in Korea, you're in the loop the whole time.
I like that.
It's reassuring, you know? You're not left in the dark.
Okay, let's talk food. What kind of stuff can you actually get delivered in Korea?
Oh, where do I even begin? The variety is mind-blowing. It goes way beyond your typical takeout fare.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples.
Well, all the Korean classics are there, obviously. Fried chicken, tteokbokki, gimbap, kimchi jjigae, bulgogi.
Oh, I love bulgogi.
It's so good. You can even get samgyetang delivered, which is ginseng chicken soup.
Wow.
And of course, ramyeon. No Korean food delivery experience would be complete without instant noodles.
Makes sense. What about Korean Chinese food?
Oh yeah, that's huge for delivery too. Jjajangmyeon, janggopang, those are the big hitters.
Okay, I'm going to have to look those up. What about Western food? Like if you're craving pizza.
You can definitely get pizza, but it comes with a Korean twist sometimes.
Oh, how so?
Well, they have some interesting toppings.
Interesting in what way?
Think corn, sweet potato, things you wouldn't normally find on a pizza in the West.
Huh. That's different. But what if you just want a plain pepperoni pizza?
Well, you can probably find that too, but some of the YouTubers I watched were joking about how hard it can be to find a simple classic pizza in Korea.
Like they just want a pepperoni pizza, hold the sweet potato.
Exactly. But the main takeaway is that the options are endless.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And you can often customize your order too.
Oh, how so?
Like adjust the spice level of your Korean food, add different toppings to your pizza.
Nice.
And the apps also let you specify how you want the delivery to happen.
Like, do you want them to ring the bell, knock, that kind of thing?
Exactly. You can even give them your building's door code right in the app if you want.
Oh, that's convenient.
Right. It's all about making things as smooth and hassle-free as possible.
It really is a whole other level of service.
When you think about it, this whole delivery culture has a massive impact on Korea, economically and socially.
In what way?
Well, it's a huge industry. It creates jobs for so many people, from the delivery riders to the restaurant staff.
Right.
The YouTubers even mention social enterprises that have delivery services as part of their mission.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's not just about convenience and making money. It's also about creating opportunities and doing good in the community.
I like that.
And then there's the sustainability aspect, which is pretty cool.
Oh, right. They use reusable containers and stuff, right?
Yeah, a lot of the smaller family-owned restaurants do. It's a small thing, but it makes a difference.
It shows they're thinking about the environmental impact.
Exactly. It's a more conscious approach.
Definitely. So we've got these amazing stories from the CNN reporter and the Russian expat, right?
Right.
They were blown away by the speed, the efficiency, the variety, the affordability.
It's something else, isn't it?
It really is. But of course, there are potential downsides too, right?
Oh, of course. No system is perfect.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, it's a demanding job for the delivery riders.
Right. They're under a lot of pressure to be fast.
Exactly. It's something to think about. The human cost of all this convenience.
Definitely something to consider.
But overall, there's no denying that both Carrot Market and Korean food delivery are incredibly convenient and have become deeply ingrained in Korean life.
It's clear that they've really nailed certain aspects of modern urban living.
Absolutely.
And for anyone trying to understand Korea today, these are two areas worth paying attention to.
For sure. Whether you're planning a trip, doing business with Korea, or just curious about the culture, it's fascinating stuff.
It's like a window into how technology and cultural values can come together to create something truly unique.
Exactly. And it makes you think, could these models work in other countries? Could we adapt them to our own cities and lifestyles?
It's a question worth exploring.
Absolutely. I'm curious, what are your own experiences with secondhand marketplaces and food delivery where you live?
It's definitely not on the same level as Korea, that's for sure.
Right. It makes you wonder what the future holds for these kinds of services.
It does make you think. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this too. Share your experiences with us. Let us know what you think.